Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. Trump is gaining a huge win. Guys, this is monumental in Pennsylvania with the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania. This is massive because back in 2020, they allowed ballots to come in that were post-dated, didn't have the correct date, and they counted them. And they were overwhelmingly for the Democrats. Well, now the Supreme Court has ruled in Pennsylvania that if the ballots don't have the correct date or they're post-dated past the November 5th election day, they will not be counted. This is going to count out tens of thousands of ballots that essentially are overwhelmingly Democrat. A huge win for Trump in the most pivotal swing state in America. We also have Trump and RFK, who have now come out and said they're ready to take on Big Pharma and remove them from being able to advertise on TV. Remember, the United States is only one of two countries in the entire world that allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise on TV. RFK wants to get rid of it. I think this is a biggest change. Like you're talking about, this would change the entire media spectrum big time because the most of the ad revenue that goes to media companies is from Big Pharma. On top of that, we also have additional data that Kamala Harris's polls are starting to take a hit because of the bad jobs report of only adding 12,000 jobs in October. Remember, it's the Biden-Harris administration. They were expected to add almost 200,000 jobs, but they fell really short. But it just shows you that things are not going well for them. Remember, we showed you a report that in this year, American citizens have lost over 800,000 jobs. At the same time, illegal immigrants or non-citizens have gained 1.2 million jobs over the past year. This tells you where the administration's priorities are at. A lot of big things are changing. We got a lot of additional breaking news for you tonight on what's going on in all the swing states. But I want to say thank you to everybody that is watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. We really appreciate your support. And thank you to all of our members of the channel, of the True Life fam. Let's go. Already see you in the chat. Y'all are killing it. I tell you what, we've got the best chat ever. And thank you so much to everybody that gives a super chat donation that helps support this channel as well as our giving. We are doing good things with this channel, and I'm so grateful for every single one of y'all. But let's jump right into the news. There's lots of stuff going on, lots of things being said. We're just days before the election. Check it out. Whoops, I am sorry, y'all. I've got it on the wrong speakers. 1 second.
Now, the Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, Senator. Now, the Harris campaign was confronted, if we had an honest media, with one of the worst jobs reports we've seen in a non-crisis situation, which was today's jobs report. It was catastrophically bad. And yet this is the lie they cling to tonight. What's happening and why are they doing it?
Well, what's happening, Lori, is she has no record to run on. What's happening is the last 4 years have been an absolute catastrophe. And she was telling the truth in the clip you played a minute ago when she said she wouldn't change anything from the last 4 years because these are her policies. This jobs report, she owns it. The open border, she owns it. 15 million illegals, she owns it. Now she wants to put them all on Medicare. She owns that, too. She can't run on the facts. She can't run on her record. So she wants to talk about Liz Cheney. I mean, good luck with that. Can I just say, by the way, Laura, these people, these are the most selfish people in the world. This is a coalition of the selfish. Kamala, the Cheneys, the Clintons. These people actually, they don't have any core beliefs. Their core belief is power, and they will do anything to hold on to power. And that's what you see from Kamala right now.
Liz Cheney never looks very happy. She always looks like she just, has an impacted wisdom tooth or anything. I mean, the Trump people are really happy. You notice that at the rallies? I mean, I was there at Madison Square Garden. Super fun. Everyone's having a great time. People having fun on the trail. Trump seems to be having fun. The garbage vest. He's just having fun. But these are among the most miserable people on the planet, Senator. I've never seen anything like it. The only time they were happy was during the pandemic when they stayed home and ordered DoorDash and watched Netflix all day. They were happy then. But other than that, they're just unhappy people.
Well, they're only happy when they're telling other people what to do and amassing more power. And your point about the pandemic is a great one, Laura, because that's when they had power at the maximum, telling all of us what to do, wear masks, our kids can't go to school, we can't do this, we can't do that. That's their dream. That's what they want. And here they are, the country is rejecting their policies. And of course, Trump is having fun. Winners have fun, number one. But number two, he believes in America. I mean, he believes in the people who support him. He believes in the majority of this country. And the problem with Kamala is why she's so unhappy and why Liz Cheney's so unhappy is they know most Americans are against them. They don't have any confidence in their fellow Americans. They don't have any confidence in the future of this country. They don't have any confidence in the character of this country. They want to change all of it. That's the problem.
You just reminded me of something. The other big lie, in addition to today's latest big lie, is the joy campaign. That was a classic lie. Their joy, that went out the window after the last balloon popped at the convention. There was no joy in that. It's a cynical, negative, pessimistic view of the American people. And Nancy Pelosi doubled down on all of this today. Watch this.
I agree with Kamala Harris completely. It should disqualify him. It should disqualify him from ever being invited to your home. From the sanctity of our elections to free it of this political violence, he must stop.
Wow.
Senator?
Yeah, the sanctity of our elections. This is from somebody who installed Kamala Harris as the nominee without an election. I mean, these people are absolutely unbelievable. And look where we've gone to. From joy, as you pointed out, Laura, to garbage. They've gone from saying this is a joyful campaign to calling anybody who opposes them garbage. That's what they really believe. Every so often they say what they really believe. That's what they actually believe. And you know what? That's why they're going to lose.
Oh, poor old Joe has a muzzle on him. He's the ultimate indignity. They canceled the call, Senator. Great to see you, as always.
Guys,
thank you.
I'm telling you what, the wordsmithing. Deanna Rankin, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Deanna some love in the chat, everybody. So this is the update with our poly market. This is the betting market, guys. But I got to show you the updates on all the electoral college votes, the swing states. Kamala is picking up, guys. I don't know what the heck is going on in the betting market. Trump still has a substantial lead, almost 17%, but things are changing. Like in the last days, this is nuts. Good thing is, though, Arizona, Trump is beating big time, 74-26. Pennsylvania, remember, we got to win Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin, and then Nevada would be great. Pennsylvania is 55-45. Nevada is 64-36. But this is good stuff. A lot of people, they're starting to see where the campaign is going, where Trump's dream team is going. And this is a big report. Breaking news. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced that he would advise Trump to ban Big Pharma from advertising on TV. Remember, all the media outlets, essentially, they make a lot of their money from the Big Pharma, from the ads. But the thing about it is that, is it good? Why is it that only we're one of two countries in the entire world that actually allow advertising of pharmaceuticals on TV? Let me know your thoughts. Other big news, guys. This is big. Remember how they came out, and it's even happened this morning. So the media is trying to backpedal what Trump said about Liz Cheney. So they literally said from their mouths, from this huge network, CNN, that Trump said, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. Literally shooting at her. He never said that. There was a lie. They literally stated right here, they said columnist Jonah Goldberg, who wrongly claimed on CNN that Trump advocated for Cheney's execution, has issued a retraction. This morning on CNN, I wrongly suggested that Trump called for a firing squad for Cheney. Goldberg admitted, my co-panelist corrected me, but I let my own disgust cloud my judgment. Boom! Y'all need to be saying the right stuff because people are going to hold your butt accountable. Let's go! Sheila Brown, thank you so much for the super chat. Joyce Massa, first timer at the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show them some love in the chat, everybody. Y'all are killing it. Starting early tonight. Thank y'all so much for the blessings. These are going to go to help people out big time in this next month. Remember, we're going to do a big thing for Thanksgiving, but I got some good news for you guys. Check it out.
Nevada has to have them freaking out. Early voting, the right direction, wrong direction. The GDP number going down instead of up. The jobs numbers, absolute. Biden calling America garbage. Mark Cuban telling women are stupid, basically, who if they support Donald Trump. Harry Enton saying voter registration numbers in the Republican side. In other words, people who actually went to a voter location and said, change my registration. That's real. That's real.
Yes. We've got evidence.
I want to give you something else, too. Numbers matter. Everything else is bullshit. Numbers matter. Throw the polls out. This is one of the best. This is an article in a newsletter. Folks, read this. The Democrats are taking copium right now. Copium. They are trying to cope because they know they are in real trouble. I told you opening the show, they're already finger pointing. He did it, he did it, he did it. That guy did it, that guy did it. That is not how a winning campaign acts. They know they're in real trouble. Why? Because they keep saying with the early voting, oh, don't sweat it, voters. It's just Republicans who would have voted on Election Day. In other words, HPVs, not human papillomavirus, high propensity voters. They're saying, don't worry, they're just not going to show up on Election Day because they can't. They already voted. That's not what's happening.
Boom.
That's copium. Breitbart. 613,000 Georgia voters who did not participate in the 2020 election have voted early. Did not participate. In other words, low propensity voters. How can you cannibalize something that would have never happened? They would have never voted outside of Trump. Here, in a social media post,
Let's go.
AJC political reporter Greg Bluestein, who's no conservative, by the way, pointed out, and I quote, the highest early voting turnout in Georgia isn't in Democrat strongholds like DeKalb or the contested suburbs surrounding metro Atlanta. It's in sparsely populated rural counties where Republicans dominate, Bluestein added. More.
Let's get some fireworks.
Kylo
Let's
Ren
go.
style. More. Get your electoral lightsaber out. More. 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 They don't know what to do, man. They don't know what to do. Wait, one more. Throw that Virginia one up. I'll take a break in a second. Look at that, Christian Hines on Twitter. Here's another one I'm just throwing out at you. These are numbers. Remember what I told you. You guys are really good at politics. You got to understand that in politics, I'm trying to put together like a political dictionary for you in case you run. The Cook PVI is an important number. It's Charlie Cook's Partisan Value Index. It measures the Republican or Democrat lean of a congressional district. That's one thing you should be familiar with. Another thing I mention all the time is 4x4s. 4x4 voters are the most valuable thing in politics. They are freaking gold. They are absolute gold. They are people who voted in the last 4 primaries, last 4 general elections. They're gold. They're showing up if there's a freaking Book of Eli nuclear war. You understand? Why do you do 4x4? Why not 5x5s? Well, you can. The reason you do 4x4s is there's a lot of newer voters on the ballot. And if you just include, 4x4s, 5x5s, you're going back 5 presidential elections. You're talking about 20 years by simple math, okay? 4x4 is the best way. Look at this. Here's Virginia Congressional District 9, broken down by voter propensity. 4x4 voters, in other words, high propensity voters. Look at the numbers. GOP, 43,000, Democrat 17. You got 3 of 4, going all the way down to 1 of 4. Here's the low propensity voters. 8,500 GOP.
What?
849 Dem. Here's the best one. These aren't low propensity voters. These are no propensity voters. 0 out of 4. They haven't voted anything. Holy Moses.
That is huge, y'all.
8,483 Republicans, 190 Democrats.
That is insane, guys.
You're damn right, brother. That's a freaking huge number. Folks, they are lying. I did not throw this one last point out there. Eric points out that the final electoral college map, based on the most accurate pollster of 2020, okay, that does matter. If a guy was accurate or a company was accurate, they're accurate. Atlas Intel, that had to make their pick. Their final electoral college map does not look good for Kamala Harris at all. It doesn't mean anything's over. I just wanted to throw that out there. So going into the weekend, you realize that if we execute, this is what, you guys have the actual map? There, look at this.
312,
They have it at
y'all.
312. This is the most accurate pollster of 2020, Atlas Intel. 312 Trump, Kamala Harris 226. But look at this map. Atlas Intel has him taking out Trump, taking Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, basically every swing state out there. Oh, Nevada too. Folks, this is a bad map for them. The only way to make this map happen is to do what? Execute. And folks, I hear these Democrats saying, oh, bring someone with you. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. 10 people, that's the minimum. If you're not willing to do it, you're not willing to win. I'm not kidding when I tell you 10 people. It's not some number I pulled out of my...
And guys, I'm telling you, I've asked everybody that I know, have y'all gone to vote? Have y'all gone to vote? We got to make sure we vote. We showed you earlier, y'all, breaking. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court has just ruled that ballots without the correct date are not allowed to be counted. We are winning. This is huge. You can't, when this stuff just got released literally just minutes ago, there's literally lawsuits in almost every single state, and especially swing states, where they have fought them to make sure we have free and fair elections, everybody. This is super important that the RNC is doing. Also, what they're doing is they're catching intel. So check out what Kamala Harris has done. CNN reports that Kamala Harris's campaign has been caught red-handed running contradictory ads to try and win both Jewish votes in Pennsylvania and Arab votes in Michigan. In Pennsylvania, Harris tells Jewish voters that she will stand up for Israel's right to defend itself. In Michigan, she tells Arabs that she will not be silent about the human suffering in Gaza. Literally contradictive. Thank you so much to British Perspective for the super chat. Said MSN is going to hear from Trump. CBS is just the start. 100%. Guys, could you imagine if Trump actually wins the lawsuit against CBS for their doctoring of the 60 Minutes Kamala Harris? This would be insane. But I'm telling you, there's a lot going on, especially with this jobs report, that is going to affect the entire election. Check it out.
For voters, there's no bigger issue than the economy, and the Harris campaign can't be happy to be closing with the worst jobs report in 4 years. U.S. employers just added a measly 12,000 jobs in October.
That's so bad.
And this isn't very reassuring. Harris is once again acting totally clueless on what her first executive action would be.
Day one, what's your first executive action?
Well, my first priority, which will be probably the package of bills, is about bringing down the cost of living.
Donald Trump wasting no time explaining how he will fix Kamala's poor economy.
On day one, I will sign an executive order directing every federal agency to immediately remove every single burdensome regulation driving up the cost of goods. I will create a new cabinet position for a senior member of my administration who will be tasked exclusively with doing everything in the federal government's power to reduce the cost of living.
Jessica, I thought that Kamala really thought that Bidenomics was working. And when I saw the 12,000 jobs, I thought must be for a county or maybe a state.
Woman, what is your first thing you're going to do on the job executive action? And she can't name it. She can't even name it. She's talking about what she's going to do in Congress. When Biden got in, I remember that video. They have about 16 stacks of things he was signing. They just handed it to him. He didn't even know what he was signing. One of them, I remember, was tearing up Trump's border policies. That was a good one. And the other one was about equity. So she should know what your priority is on day one, because actually day one's right now, because she still has the power to do whatever she wants. I haven't heard her talk about the economy at all. Nope. Maybe because I don't live in Michigan or Pennsylvania or Wisconsin. But if I were Kamala Harris and we watch her speeches, she never talks about Bidenomics. She never talks about all these great things that they did in the last 4 years. And she doesn't talk about what she's going to do in the next 4 years. She just talks about being a middle-class person and how Donald Trump's a fascist.
You know, Martha, she says that she's going to attack the economy and make it better on the first day, except the last answer I heard when they asked her how she was going to do it, she started with the middle class nonsense. But, you know, you really want a president who is caring and empathic and has a heart. She's sending a message that she is uncaring, that she's going to make you wait. The fact that you are living paycheck to paycheck, she's not going to do anything for you until day one. So you can suffer. And if you elect her, then she'll do something for you. What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's really difficult for her that she was standing out in front of the White House the other night, and she does own the record of the last 3 years. One of the things that keeps striking me are these downward revisions. They're crazy. I mean, you had in August 800,000 jobs. I mean, what kind of agency? Can you imagine how much we're paying for that agency to come up with these numbers that they then corrected by 800,000? Look at August. They revised down 81,000. September, down 31,000. So the jobs that people thought were on the books were not. And that's the answer to the question, why do people say they don't feel like things are getting better? And the administration and the Harris campaign keep telling them that, oh, actually things are going really well for you. And they say, I remember some guy on a boardwalk was asked this question, he laughed. It's like, don't tell me how I'm experiencing my own life and what I have to pay for things. Prices are up 20%. But obviously the cost of living issue is something that's polling importantly. They're both using that phrase, Trump and Harris, in these final days. But the difference is that Harris is talking about what she's going to give you, $25,000 for this, $5,000 for that. Now, that can be very persuasive with a lot of voters. Trump is saying, I'm going to slice and dice regulations from the book. That's going to help businesses to thrive.
Yes.
They're going to hire people, and your wages are going to go up, which is what happened the last time around. So they have both experiences to compare. One is I'm going to give you some money. The other is I'm going to stimulate the economy. We'll see who wins out.
But Greg, in addition to that, people remember the Trump years as being better than these last 4 years economically.
True, true. As for the Democrats' ground game, their ground game is just getting the dead to vote. The only jobs that the Dems have created are those people who make the yellow tape that goes around crime scenes, and perhaps male nannies, because I think young moms see Doug Emhoff and go, I'm not taking the risk. So that may account for the 10,000 votes, the 10,000 jobs, which is going to be really hard to downgrade from 10,000. It has been a good record, an economy for rich liberals. Why did Bill Clinton have to make the argument that a bad economy under Biden and Kamala is not a good reason to vote for Trump? Why did he do that? Maybe because he's right. For him, for Clooney, for Springsteen, for J-Lo, for Kimmel. When you're rich and famous, bad economies are never a problem. You already spend $100 grand on a private jet to Europe, $100 for breakfast at Four Seasons. All the things that matter to the voter, cost of living, crime, illegal immigration, has no effect whatsoever on the people who wish you would ignore those issues. They could, after the election, they can go back to their secure estate, but you're screwed.
I can actually...
Let me tell you this, guys. It is 100% the truth right now. The average American person is feeling it like never before. Thank you so much, Tarina Smith, for that awesome GIF super chat. Let's go. The British perspective again. Let's go. Said, I hope Trump sues Morning Joe at MSNBC next. Hey, they need to. Y'all show Tarina and the British perspective some love in the chat, everybody. The Dems, I'm telling you, they're on high alert right now because they are nervous about what is happening with the polls. It is so real, guys. Check this out.
White House earlier today. We're told he sounds and looks something like this.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Biden doesn't have a laptop this time, but he did manage to get all the way to Pennsylvania. And he somehow found a stage.
Remember the last guy when he was president, he said we have he had every week. We have infrastructure week.
Oh my goodness.
After that, he tried to give a woman an award, dropped it, and then he started chewing on it. How he's still allowed to be near a camera is a mystery. Democrats thought Biden was strapped to a gurney after he ate baby feet. You'd think after derailing Kamala's closing speech with that garbage grenade, he'd want to lay low, sit the next one out. snacking on babies with Dr. Jill in a panda suit. The Democrats keep trying to bench Biden, but he keeps running out onto the field naked. Biden's insiders say it's the World Series for politics, and he wants to play in it now. And he sees Philly and Scranton as his home field, where he thinks he's beloved. So he made a mad dash to Philly today, but Democrats aren't too happy he's in town. Quote, the appreciation from the Democratic base is still there, but the need for him to show up is not.
What?
At this point, it is really all about Kamala Harris. And she needs separation from Biden, is what one Democrat says. The speeches have to be inspiring, and Obama and Clinton are better suited for that task than the president.
Wow.
That stings. And Obama's speechwriter just went on CNN moments ago and told Joe his time's up.
Should Biden even be going out on the trail for Harris at this point, or is he just like too much of a risk?
I mean, if I was Joe Biden, and I knew, look, his legacy obviously is at stake in this election, and he is the president of the United States, got a lot of work to do as president, I would probably look at the numbers, I would look at the race and say, I'm going to focus on being president over the next couple of days. And that's probably the best, that's the best thing he can do for not just the Harris campaign, but himself and his legacy.
Obama's guys are saying, nice presidential library you got over there, Joe. Be ashamed if something happened to it. Next time you think about leaving the White House, think about your legacy. They're not afraid to put him in Walter Reed for the weekend. Hunter's going to need a new job where he doesn't have to pee in a cup, and the Sugar Brothers tapped out. So after this week, Democrats can't even stomach seeing Biden on the trail again. We're just learning that they confiscated his phone. He had a bunch of campaign calls scheduled yesterday, and they canceled all of them. They just told Joe, you know, the reception's spotty. Try again tomorrow, and then Joe forgot. So they've taken away his laptop and his phone. The whole White House is angry at the big guy, even the White House stenographers.
They are now as mad as you will ever hear a stenographer on the record that White House officials working for President Biden tried to change the meaning of their transcript. So it sounded like the president on that Zoom with Voto Latino was just criticizing a comedian instead of all Trump supporters.
So after Biden called Americans garbage, they forced the White House stenographers to rewrite the transcripts. And the stenographers are like, yo, you guys got to be kidding me. This is a violation of the Presidential Records Act. That's what you raided Trump's house over. And Biden's guys said, just do it. So they did it. Kamala can't even believe it. Obama's fighting with Biden. The White House is strong-arming librarians. And her VP pick just called the world's richest man gay.
If you're a billionaire, Elon Musk, for example, say, that guy got it. Michigan knows that word. Look, that dude got a tax cut.
Tim Walz is calling the other guy gay? What is going on here? He should be the... Never mind. Obama and Pelosi both said Walz was a poor pick, that Kamala should have gone with Shapiro. And it looks like Harris is having second thoughts because she's cheating on Tim Walz right in front of everyone.
This election, it's bigger than us. It's about the future. Do you want more chaos? Or like me, are you ready for some common sense? That's why I'm with Kamala.
This would be like Trump cutting an ad with Doug Burgum. You can't cheat on your VP. This isn't wife swap. Did Tim get cooed? I get it. Pennsylvania's do or die. You expect it to be all hands on deck there. So why are they sending Bill Clinton to New Hampshire? When did New Hampshire become a battleground? Biden was just in New Hampshire. Remember, that's where he said they had to lock Trump up? The last time a Democrat lost New Hampshire was 24 years ago. And now Real Clear Politics is saying New Hampshire's a toss-up.
Let's go.
If Trump wins New Hampshire and he hasn't even campaigned there, it's going to be a big night. And Bubba's got, what, 9 lives? He said Trump's economy was better than Kamala's, and he said Lake and Riley would still be alive if the border czar had done her job. The Harris campaign must be really needy to roll the dice and let Bill loose again.
Man, I'm telling you.
But Bill knows better than anyone. It's the economy, stupid.
Some of them are Republicans by DNA. Some of them voted for Trump in 2016, Biden in 2020, and have told us because of Biden's policies, because of inflation, the cost of living, they're going back to Trump.
The economy's still the top issue. And today's news, not going to help Harris.
The big jobs report, and the prophecy came true. Jobs light, 12,000 in non-farm payroll. That is the lightest going back to December of 2020.
It's a massive drop, of course, from what we saw in September. That number was also revised lower, down to 223,000 jobs. In fact, what we lost was over 110,000 jobs over August and September.
We have 100,000 fewer jobs than we thought we had. That's a really bad number.
So we just lost 100,000 jobs. And Joe's in Pennsylvania reminding everybody about Bidenomics. Democrats can make jobs disappear, but they can't make Biden disappear. Here was Trump reacting to the news in Michigan.
This is the lowest number in years, a pitiful 12,000 jobs less.
That is so bad.
Whoa. Hundreds of thousands of jobs less than what it should be. I never heard of 12,000 jobs. That's not even believable. And if she gets 4 more years, your family is you're never gonna recover from these stupid people. There'll be a 1929 style economic depression that will absolutely crush your incomes and all that stuff. But we're not going to talk about that because we want to make sure we win.
Yes.
And when we win, you are 4 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, and the brightest economic future the world has ever seen.
So the Biden economy looks like a mirage, and Kamala still can't give us a concise answer of what she's going to do if she wins.
Day one, what's your first executive action?
Well, my first priority, which will be probably the package of bills, is about bringing down the cost of living. So it's about housing, it's about childcare, it's about what we need to do to deal with grocery prices. So it's not one, it's a package.
So why do they even keep asking her what she's going to do on day one?
She never gives
an answer. Day one was
answer.
4 years ago. She could knock on Joe's door right now and say, hey, big guy, sign this executive order. I'm going to just slip it under your door. I know they took your phone, but there's a pen in there somewhere. Why should Americans wait until Inauguration Day for help when Kamala's in power now? Why can't she get a head start on the things she's promising? This election's gotten so ridiculous, they made J-Lo cry.
I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional, but you know what? You know what? We should be emotional.
Oh my
We
goodness.
should be upset. We should be scared and outraged.
We should. Crap is
Luckily,
freaking
Trump will
expensive.
protect J-Lo whether she likes it or not. But why can't Kamala Harris get emotional about America like J-Lo? This country's been through a lot the last 4 years. How is it that Harris is never upset by any of it? She just laughs along like nothing's wrong. And are Democrats running out of celebrities? Hollywood must be empty at this point. What, is David Hasselhoff going to come out with a white dude for Harris hat? Trump's putting on aprons, garbage vests, campaigning with blacks, Hispanics, whites, Muslims, carving up the Obama-Biden coalition like a jack-o'-lantern. What's Kamala been up to? Just calling everyone Nazis.
How about her? She's always talking about, no, I want to bring the country together. Trump is Hitler. Excuse me, I shouldn't have said that. No, she's always saying, I want to go in peace, and we want to get together as a country. And, you know, the Trump people are garbage, total garbage. Oh. But we want to get together. And Trump is Hitler, and they're all racist, and they're all this, and they're all that. But we want to have peace, so we want to get along. I don't even know if she knows what the hell she's saying.
This election is about whether the Democratic machine can kill off the incumbent and drag an unpopular, untalented replacement over the finish line. That's what it is. How close is this thing going to be? Trump's exactly right. She doesn't know what she's talking about. That's why she's their nominee.
That's why she's their nominee. She's being controlled by the machine. I'm telling you guys, more and more reports are coming out. We got to be super aware. Tell everybody this is what's going on. Check this out.
So my mail-in ballot never came. I tracked it. It went to the post office, and then it just never left, which is so funny because my dad, an 82-year-old registered Republican, he goes, mine never came either, and this is the first time. I'm like, hey, baby monk fruit. And I'm like, that's so interesting. And he was like, yeah, like everyone in my office, I assume voting Democrat, all got theirs like weeks ago, and they've already voted. And I was like, that's so interesting. And then when I went to go pick J. Trump on the machine, I actually had to scroll down to the second page. And I've been seeing all these things of there's glitches. And you know what's so interesting about all these glitches and all these things that are happening? All these glitches favor one candidate. Has there been any glitches that positively, affect Trump in any way? I don't think so. It's just interesting. Oh, and of course we're in California. So when I asked, do you want my ID? They were offended.
Guys, I'm telling you, this crap, if we've ever had evidence that there is voter fraud, there's voting, manipulation, interference, it's across the board. So I wanted to show you this because what I love about the internet is that these things are forever. This is what NBC News posted. This was a month before the election in 2020. Final jobs report before election day shows just 661,000 positions were added last month. Kamala Harris and Biden just added 12,000 jobs. NBC was complaining that Trump only added 661,000 jobs. This is insane. Now, I know we were in the pandemic, but still, you're not going to see NBC do any report like this because the media is so biased. But what I love is that, again, Trump's got the dream team. He's pulling together people that are 100% pit bulls fighting and telling the truth. Check this out.
Estimate what they are capable of. To them, this is not an election. It's much bigger than that. These are people who think they have a moral right to rule and that you were born in the serf class and there you will stay. They believe that. These same people lecturing us about democracy. They think it is their right to be in charge, as if anyone in a democracy has a right to be in charge. People serve at the pleasure of the population for the benefit of the population. It's literally that simple.
Yes.
But they don't believe that. Donald Trump has stood in the face of that group, which includes every power center, not simply in the United States, but in the world, almost since the day he called me in the car in the winter of 2015 and said he was dead serious about running. And he has faced them off, and he has endured more punishment, graver trials than any politician in the history of this country. And he didn't need to. He didn't need to. At any point, he could have said, you know what? I've got a lot of grandchildren, some of whom I enjoy playing golf with. I'm pretty rich, actually. You may have heard that. And I don't need this. And he has bulled forward with energy and cheerfulness from beginning to end. And I would submit, since AOC raised the question of what a real man looks like, let me just tell you my view of what a real man looks like. A real man is a cheerful man. And he's cheerful because he's brave.
Yes.
Brave people have hope because they have a mission and they're strong inside. And they know, because they are living for something greater than themselves, that even if they die, they don't die. The mission lives on. And that's what gives them heart and cheerfulness. They are not morose. They are not self-pitying. They are bright, bright-eyed, cheerful, energetic, and in command. And that is exactly what Trump has proven to be, including on the day he was shot in the face. And I know because I talked to him that night.
Let's go.
And he made a joke about it. And I sometimes think, I'm a pretty tough guy. I've been fired by all these cable networks. It's really hard to be fired by a cable network. I've really been through it. Thank me for my service later. It's absurd. All of us are the heroes of our own drama, of course, no matter what it is. You teach middle school social studies, I'm sure you come home and think, man, I fought a battle today. You run some stupid cable TV show and you're like, I'm tough as hell. Try getting shot in the face at a rally and then pushing off the Secret Service and standing up with your fist in the air. Try that.
Let's go.
was the most revealing moment I have ever seen in the life, not just of any politician, but of any person I have known personally, someone I actually know. And that's the moment that little boys dream about. That's, I mean, every little boy, because men do not become men organically, they have to prove that they're men. And every little boy dreams about some war scenario. Everyone's dead but me, and I'm charging the machine gun nest because I'm the bravest man. Would you? Would you be the bravest man? Or would you be in fetal position, calling out your mom's name? I don't know, we don't know. You haven't been put in that position, I haven't either. Donald Trump just was on camera. It was so unbelievable that Democrats on MSNBC and the internet immediately accused him of faking it on the grounds that nobody could be that brave.
Can y'all believe that?
And it's true, that's not a kind of Doug Emhoff thing to do.
Remember, guys, and this is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is what's so bad about what the media, that they're never held accountable. You had so many people that literally said that Trump was faking it. He literally, it was all whatever, and they never had to retract. They never had to come out and say, oh, wow, he actually did get shot. This was all really true. Thank you so much, Randy Brave, for the first time super chat. Let's go. So we are praying for Trump in Brisbane, Australia. What? Let's go around the world. Y'all show Randy some love in the chat, everybody.
Kind of hard to imagine the second gentleman standing up and being like, fight, fight, fight. You know, or Tim Walz. But the truth is, masculinity is still an indispensable thing. I'm sorry. It is.
Yes.
Even in an age of Uber Eats and air conditioning. No one's going out to slay a mastodon with a spear, but you still need a brave man in charge. Because it's a rough world and unexpected things happen. And as my friend Mike Tyson said, famously, everybody got a plan until he gets hit in the face.
And I'm telling you this, there's no way, y'all let me know, but there's no way that I can see Kamala Harris standing beside Putin or Xi Jinping and being able to fight and negotiate for the American people. The media is lying like crazy right now, but I love it, guys. There is pit bulls out there that are 100% fighting for the truth, even on other networks. Check this out. Oh, sorry. Oh, come on.
I think that any fair review of this remark is really simple. He was making a crude, if well-worn argument that often comes from the anti-war left and that I heard repeatedly during the Bush years about politicians who vote to authorize wars being forced to fight in them. It's called the chicken hawk argument. It's been around probably since Vietnam or maybe before. So I actually disagree with the argument. I think it's a bumper sticker way of dealing with complex matters of national security. So here I am, a Republican who disagrees with Trump, but I'm absolutely appalled by the disinformation about what he actually said. It started with a deceptively edited clip this morning and took off like wildfire. He did not call for her to be put in front of a firing squad. That did not happen. Even his most persistent critics, some of them today, have admitted as much. I think this episode, Wolf, to be honest, goes on the ever-expanding bonfire of credibility of the hysterical anti-Trump left. And I think the people pushing this today, honestly, Wolf, are one of the principal reasons I'm going to wind up voting for Trump. I don't like, if you want to criticize this man, there's plenty. You do not have to make things up to criticize Donald Trump. And I think some of it, frankly, was spun up to distract from a terrible jobs report, if you want my honest opinion.
Boom, guys, I'm telling you, when we see the actual truth that's coming out, so check this out. This is huge. I'm telling you what, if Donald Trump was not running for president, I think this guy would 100% be the guy to go to. Reason why? He gets crap done. Listen to what they just did today. This is the most I'm talking about like gangster move against the federal government. Florida just issued a powerful message to the Department of Justice election monitors that they are not allowed inside any Florida polling locations. DeSantis isn't letting the Kamala Biden regime's fraudster unit pull any shenanigans in the Florida's election. Remember, do y'all remember this? And I wish I would have pulled the video. where they were going into certain places, swing states. They were putting up whiteboards over the glass so you couldn't even see. What's up, OG D-Dog? And I'm telling you, they said this is DeSantis just showing that he gets things done. He is not afraid to fight against even the DOJ. He said, as a reminder, DOJ monitors are not permitted inside a polling place under Florida law. That is what we need. We need these guys and women to stand up to these feds to show them that, look, you're not going to come in and manipulate things.
Our manufacturing lost 40.
So again, too, I wanted to bring you some more data on the jobs analytics, because it's one thing to say, oh, where's the jobs reports at? Where are things going? Where are the jobs? And it's another thing to actually see where they're at. Check this out.
The private sector losing 28,000 jobs in this report, and the government sector actually adding 40,000 jobs. And you see where some of the other jobs are. Manufacturing lost 46,000, retail down 6,400, leisure and hospitality down 4,000. So I asked the acting labor secretary about taxpayer money supporting most of the jobs in this report.
We've seen multiple industries that have not only recovered to their pre-pandemic level, but exceed their pre-pandemic level now. And when you talk about local government, these are your police officers, your firefighters, your local, someone who approves building permits. Growth in the local economy is also an indicator of a strong economy.
Is it?
Government jobs good, according to her. So the jobs report also reflects the fact that Hurricane Helene hit right before the survey was taken, and the Hurricane Milton struck in Florida during the survey period, and that's reflected in these numbers. The acting labor secretary tells me the Boeing strike also impacted the number, but the Bureau of Labor Statistics says manufacturing would have still showed a job loss.
Well, so overall numbers for manufacturing is still up some 600,000, more than that in this administration. That is also not by accident, right? The investments that we're making into creating things in America again, opening up shuttered factories that were closed in 2019, 2018. We are seeing those effects, but we're not going to see them immediately, right?
Well, and this is the little exaggeration we're hearing in this closing arguments. The economy actually created 93,000 manufacturing jobs under the Biden term, because we've added back all of the manufacturing jobs that were paused in the pandemic and then now created again 93,000 jobs, not 600,000. So last report before the Tuesday voting, people are going to have to decide.
Guys, I'm telling you, when you look at this, they're trying to add back more government jobs to try to make it look like the economy is doing better than what it actually is. And this is the dang truth of why whenever people are like, how can the administration be saying that everything's fine and we're doing great and everything's, when we actually feel that, hey, there's not really these jobs being added. The inflation is still here. The government is not doing what they're just gaslighting the American people. And on top of that, you've got one of the most powerful women who's running for Senate in Arizona and is up, that needs to be elected. So if you're in Arizona, go vote. Kari Lake, check this out.
Kari Lake's an Arizona Senate candidate. How you doing, Kari?
We're doing great. We are in the final days of this incredible campaign. We're in the most liberal part of Arizona, Pima County. And guess what? I just listened to that segment, Jesse, and I'm offended. I happen to live with 3 Latinos, my husband and children who are Latino, and they are firmly behind President Trump. I'm here in one of our districts, which has the biggest Latino population. And guess what? They don't find it racist to want to be able to afford to put food on the table. And they don't find it racist, and they don't consider themselves Nazis because they want to have a secure border, and they actually want to know who's coming into our country. Arizona and Tucson, Arizona, where I am right now, is the first major city where all of the fentanyl is hitting before it comes into the rest of this country and is taking out a young generation. We were just at 2 voting centers in the past couple of hours. One of the first people that came up to me was a mother who is a Mexican immigrant. She came here and she's a legal immigrant. She's fed up with what's happening. She's tired of not being able to afford clothing for her kids, groceries for her family. She's tired of the open border. And she just said to me, I'm voting for you and Trump. And I'm a registered Democrat. The Democrats are sick of the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party has been taken over by, I don't know who, but they're not representing the hardworking middle class and working class people.
Well, yeah,
of
you can
Arizona.
see working class people of all races move away from the Democrats, and the Democrat response to that is to call them names. I'm not so sure that's working. But let me ask you a question. Put the policy aside for a second, because that's pretty much agreed upon. Over the last couple of weeks, has there been one thing that happened in the campaign that's kind of dropped like a bomb in Arizona? Was it the MSG rally, Rogan, Kamala on The View saying, I wouldn't do anything differently? Was it Garbage Gate? Is there anything that you've seen reverberate from people you've talked to?
I think the continued difficulty with this economy where people can't afford anything, you know, our kids are getting closer and closer to, you know, we just had Halloween and you can't afford a Halloween costume for your kids. We're getting closer to the fall and things are just getting more expensive. But when Joe Biden, our president, I guess he's our president. I mean, I don't know who's running the country, Jesse. I'm not sure anybody does. But when he came out and called people who want to vote for President Trump garbage, I think that resonated with people. It really resonated with people. And my opponent, Ruben Gallego, has called the people who have voted for President Trump the worst people in the world and dumb.
Wow.
And when you start calling people names like that, you know, listen, there's going to be people who don't vote for me in this election. Our poll numbers look great. We're winning this election. But there's going to be people who don't vote for me. And I still want them to know I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. and work hard to represent you.
Sure. Well, I mean, there was one Halloween costume you can afford. It's not that expensive, even under Bidenomics.
Well, you know,
it's just a garbage bag.
Just put a
garbage bag, baby.
The cheapest costume you could ever put on. And, you know, and this is why people are reaching out and saying, we're voting for you and Trump. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican. This is the America First movement. Go to kerrylake.com and help us out. We could use the help, and we got to bring down this radical leftist we're running against.
All right, Kerry Lake.
Let's go, Kerry Lake. Joseph Evans, thank you so much for the super chat. He said, I can't stand when they get on TV and just straight up lie to the American people like we're stupid and don't know any better. We all have cell phones. We can all check to see whether we're being gaslit or not. 100%. Y'all show Joseph some love in the chat, everybody. The one thing is that nowadays, more than ever, we are able to hold the media accountable. We're showing you, just like they said, there's no voter fraud and oh no this. Well, guess what? Why is there hundreds to thousands of videos of people posting online saying, hey, why can't I vote for Trump? Why is there discrepancies? Why am I not getting my mail-in ballot? Why are they preventing me from being able to vote in Bucks County, one of the most important Republican counties on the map? It's because they're trying to control the election. If they did it big time with what happened with the mail-in ballots during the pandemic. Everybody just didn't know they were changing laws right on the fly to allow for all these extra voters. I do not believe that Joe Biden got over 80 million votes. There's no way. But what I am seeing now, and I will not believe that Kamala Harris is going to get over 60 million or 70 million. All signs point to a Trump landslide. That's what I'm seeing across the board in all the major polls, the Nate Silver predictions. I want to show you this last poll, guys, because this, to me, if you want to look at who was the most accurate back in the day in 2020 and even 2016, who was it? Well, it was On Point Politics. They were the closest when it came to all their measurements. And when we look at where they have things at, it is 100%. 326 electoral votes for Trump, 212 for Kamala Harris. So this is, I feel like, where things could end up at. But remember, if you haven't voted, go vote. If you know people that haven't voted, go tell them to vote. And we got to vote for America first, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And thank you to all of our members. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. Remember, the link is in the description to join the True Life News fam. I love our chat. We've got the best chat out there. Love to have fun and a good time. And I just want to give some shout outs to Deanna Rankin, Sheila Brown, Joyce Massa, The British Perspective, Tarina Smith, Randy Bray from Australia, Joseph Evans for the super chats. Y'all show them some love in the chat, everybody. We are on the precipice of make America greater than it's ever been. That's what I believe. Make America greater than it's ever been. Love you all. Appreciate you all. And I will see y'all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.